Hi, in this class we discuss about detailed UV texturing. So if you want to be an expert in modeling and texturing, it is recommended that you should be an expert. You should become expert in UV editor. So let's see how to do that. So first thing we do is let me take a cube again. So this time I just make a cube here like this. Great. The reason why these lines are visible is because the UV window is open. So great. Okay. Let me turn this on. Wireframe unshaded. Okay. So as usual, select this face, shift right click. We have extrude face. I click the scale, then I just scale it down. Then I press G. Maybe I just did undo, then I will do this, and I press G. Okay, then again I press G. Again I press G. So now look at that. Now this is a shape we have. So in order to make this a perfect one, let me go here. Let me select this vertices and move them here, because I want this shape to be a square one, and I select these vertices. I want it to be like a square one again. A square, square, and square. Great. Let me save this file. File save scene as UV set UV test 2. Okay, so here's the model. So the first thing we do is, as usual, let me go to my this time I try something different. Let's see. The first thing I do is, as we discussed in the previous, create a material, apply checkerboard texture on the material, then apply the material to the 3D model, then do mapping. So this is what we have to do first. So let me do that first. The first thing I do, I prefer to do is, look at that. I have to map this. I have to map this model entirely. So see. If I have to map this, let me go to UV editor, and how we usually do is we have to select these 4 faces, then we have to apply mapping and cylindrical. Okay, then we move this away, then maybe we select these 4 faces, then we apply cylindrical mapping, cylindrical, and I'm sorry, let me mapping, cylindrical map, and then yeah, and we move them this away, and this one we have here. Let me select these UVs, press R. I can scale them up, or I can scale them down like this. Yep. Then we have another UVs. Look at that. Shift right click, mapping. Again, another cylindrical map. So let's scale them. Now you have to make them good. Now select and move them here on the top of it. Okay. So this is what we usually do. Then we do scale this one. Shift right click. This is facing a plane, and it is facing a y-axis. So I prefer to go with this. Maybe go like that. Okay, it's done. I just move it away. Then I have one face at the top. I think it's probably done already. Top faces. Right. Now let me select these faces. Then then shift right click, mapping. This is facing y-axis, so let me select that and scale them up. So it's done. So here we have that, and let me move this off. Move this a bit little. Then this vertex, I think this is this vertex here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that is fine. So now with the texture is properly applied. Then after that, what we do is we can, after this is done, now you can map this material. Now you can map this material. You can apply any material because all the UVs are properly matched. So what I prefer to do is I prefer to go to my UV mode. I select these UVs. Maybe I move them down. Then I move them down here. Right. And then this one I drop it here, because I want to put them all inside this one. Okay. So there's one thing you can work in UV. You can select one UV here, right click and go to UV. Okay, select one UV, then control right click, use your 2 UV shell. Now the entire UV will be selected. That's one way. So what I do is I just select this, control right click, 2 UV cell. Okay, now everything will be selected, or you can just directly draw the shape. So everything will be the same. So let me just move this off and select this and move them here. Then I would like to move them here. So let me move them here. Then let me move them here. So now it's like I just aligned them, I just positioned them all. Now it would occupy 2 by 2. It's not 1 by 1. I think it will take 2 by 2. So if you go to your modify UV layout option box, there you could see that the layout says that the packing iterations, its resolution is thing, and look at this, the tiles is 1 by 1, the tiles be 2 by 2. Apply. Once you apply that, you could see that it will disintegrate the UVs into equal parts and position it accordingly. That's what the automatic layout will do. So that's what layout will do. So yeah. So this way you can do that. Or you can come here, you can go to your modify again, layout option box, go to edit, reset. So just hit apply. You could see now the entire UVs were scaled down into equal parts and aligned here inside this 1 by 1 space. So the reason why they prefer this 1 by 1 space is because we're given here it's 1 by 1 space, unless it will be a perfect one. So maybe, what if I want this image area to be, texture map to be a bigger one, maybe 2048 size. And let me hit and let me hit apply again. Now you can see now the images are much bigger. I'm sorry, I should select everything and apply. Now the same area, but the texture, the size of the 1 by 1 size would be of 2048 texture map size. That's layout, and you can increase the layout even, or you can increase this UV. Yeah, now you can apply again. Yeah, now you can see that they are equally aligned. So this is the kind of setup that Maya align it by itself. So that's what Maya does. If I hit change into 1 and apply, it will fit inside this area. So that's what Maya does. Exactly. Now you can see that everything is properly done. Okay, now I can apply any other material. So will it be fine? Let me turn this checker off and off. Now I can just assign a new material. Now you can assign any new material, nothing happens, because this UV map lies inside the model. It's not lies inside the material. Look at that, it lies with the model. So no matter whichever material you apply, the blend or AI surface material or Lambert or Fong or Fongy or what, anisotropic, anything, the model will change. The model remains the same, only the texture changes. Look at that, the UV is all the same. So now right click and I go to my attributes. I have a blend here. Let me apply a texture. I click file, then it asks me to select the file. Maybe this time I pick similar, maybe like building. Yeah, look at those buildings, they were good. Maybe I can select any building here. Yeah, but it's just for your understanding. This is not the plan I have. Okay, this is for your understanding. Oh yeah, that is the worst model. Yeah, so maybe again. Yeah, you could see now this is like a house. So like a house, there will be a model here. Yeah, it works. So similarly, I can right click, I can go to material, because you can apply any material you want. Maybe you can click here, I can choose any object or anything I want. Any material I want that would fit here. You don't need to, you can change any material you want, it will look like a real building. Okay, what if you feel like, sir, I feel like the building is too small? Then no issues, just select all the UVs. Then press R and scale them up. Now you can see the images are, yeah, much better. You can scale them down, you can scale them up. Anything would do. Yeah, so yeah, this is just one way of applying. Okay, so this is just one way of applying UV. Let me take you to another now. So I would want to save it here. Great. So now let me model another object here. Let's create a new cube. I'm going to model the same shape now. So let me turn on this wireframe and shape it. I'm going to model the same one, and the reason why I stick to the same model is because you need to know that what if we apply the same technique. I mean, what if you apply the different techniques on the same model, what would happen? The result you can know only if I use a similar or same kind of model. So I'm using the same model here. Okay, fine. So here again, so this time instead of applying one cylindrical here and one cylindrical here, another cylindrical here, then one planar Y here, one planar Y here, one planar Y here, I want to make this process much simpler. That's why in Maya recent versions they have introduced few tools. So once you enter into this UV, so here go to the UV panel, you have a 3D cut and UV tool. So we'll be using this tool often. So I just hold my Control Shift key on the keyboard. Control plus Shift, hold it. So I'm holding Control, then Shift. So Control Shift. Then go to your UV menu. There you'll be having 3D cut and UV tool. So let me click that. The moment I click, you could see that it added into my shelf. Okay. So let me delete it again and do it. I hold my Control Shift. I'm sorry, I just open the UV menu. Then I hold Control Shift, 3D cut and UV tool. That's it, done. Now the tool is added here. So why we need this tool? This is just a new addition in Maya. Now you have selected this. Now what we can do is we can just click here. Now I'm going to tell Maya how to divide this model equally. So there is a line here. I would like to just hold your Control and deselect all these highlighted lines. Yeah, it should be normal. Hold Control for deselecting these and just click or double click on any of the line. Yeah, it is done. Then I go to double click on this line. Okay, because I would like to divide this into different shape and this into different shape. It's done. Now I'm going to click once and once here. Okay, similarly I'm going to click once and once here. Now you can see that this marked down area will be one shape, and this another marked down area will be of another shape. That's another cool thing we have here. Yeah, so that would do. And I think I should remove this, because this areas has to be separate. The top and bottom has to be separate. Then after that, this left part area will be a different model. This right will be a different model. But how Maya will do that? Because we are not applied any mapping here, right? Then how Maya will do it? That's the way. When you're in this tool, now we are in the tool cut and UV. If it is enabled, then right click, hold your mouse, go to the control component mode. There you can find UV shell. I'll repeat again. When you are in this tool, right click, go to component, then choose UV shell. Once you are in UV shell mode, then when you move your UV, you could see that, yeah, the separate parts will be highlighted when you move your mouse over that 3D model. You could see that. So whichever is highlighted in red, which means they are separate objects. Now let me show you in the UV window. Oh my God, where is the UV window? UV editor. Yep. Now look at that. This is my UV window. Let me turn this off. Now you could see there, these are different shapes. Yeah. So right click, component, UV shell. Yeah. Hope you could see that. Now let me select this. I'm not going to select. I'm just going to move my mouse over here. I'm not going to click. Just move the mouse over here. I'm going to press D. D is for, when I press D, it will be, look at that. This shape is properly came out. That's cool. Again, I put my mouse here. I press D. Again, this came out. Then on here, I put my mouse. I didn't click. I'm just placing my mouse. Press D. Good. Then I put my mouse here. I press D. Great. Now they are all mapped properly. Now they are unwrapped. We call this as unwrapping. Unwrapping the 3D model into a 2D image, so that it will be easy for us to apply a 2D texture on the 3D model. That's how thing works. Unwrapping 3D model into a 2D image, so that it will be easy for us to apply a 2D texture on the 3D model. So hope you guys understood now. Great. So now everything is done. So but it all looks so clumsy. So right click, go to not last tool. I think I have to enable my mode tool. Then right click, UV. Select all the UVs, and if you remember the shortcut for layout, it is Ctrl L. Okay, good. Ctrl L. Now you can see that they're all laid out. The layout is properly done. Okay, but since Maya has this option, of layouting. Now look at that, it's done. So by using Maya, we could able to apply this layout. This is one such option. We could do that. So using Maya, we could do that. So this is you can also apply. You can also divide the 3D model into several different spaces like this. Okay. And hope you understood. Now I'll teach you with another example. Let me close this one. I move to my move tool. Let me delete this one and create another model. So maybe this time I click and choose a cylinder. Press R. Great. Then let me select the faces, then Control deselect these faces, then Shift right click and extrude, then just scale them down, good. And G, push them inside. Sorry, maybe you can pull them outside. Again G, and scale them out. Again G, Maybe we have a shape here like this. So I hit my Control D, I press E, then I rotate this a bit to rotation degree of minus 90 degree. Let's tell them down here. Now you can see there are two objects and two shapes. They have different shapes and structure. So what I can do is I can select this one and shift this one. Then I do shift right click. Then I have a boolean and union. Oops, yeah. Now they are combined into separate one. Press 4. Now you can see the extra part is deleted. And press 5. Now they are a single object. Let me save this file. Save scene as UV test 3 subject. Yeah. Now you open your UV editor. Okay. Now you can see that by default what happened here. So by default is what happened. It's like it just UV toolkit. Let me take it outside. It is snapped. Okay. So this is what happened by default. But here we can change the shapes and everything. So maybe I select my hue and UV. Maybe let me double click here. Control and double click. Control double click. Control double click. Control double click and control double click. I think it's already done. Selection is already done. So maybe it's good. Maybe let me undo it. Okay. Let this be the shape. Now look at this. So this is one shape where if you would like to wrap it off, you will do that. So double click here. Then I would like to double click here. So see that? This line will go off. It will split the model and open it. So that would do, I believe. It will split the model and unwrap. Okay, that would do the magic. And similarly here, we can split the model and unwrap. Yep. So let's right click and go to component UV shell. Now you can see that the shapes are different, and here it is different, here it is different. Whereas here they are all the same object. So let me select this and press, just move your mouse over there, press D. You can see now it's properly divided. See that? Press D. See, it's cut into shapes there. So that's one. And whereas here, if I press D again, look at that, it's expanded. Okay, it is cut into another shape. And again here, I press D, it's cut into another shape. You see that it's expanded. Yeah. So that's a cool feature we have. Press D again. Again, it will be. Could you see that? It just, well, you put the cut from that part, it expands. You just cut the object or unwrap the 3D model. That's what happened here. So, so this is just one way of doing things, and it depends however you select your model. It depends. Maybe I click here. Maybe I go to object mode. I click this, and maybe I can change this again. Now I hold my control for deselection. Then I can change this now. So look at that. Now they are different shapes. Now you can cut them all into different things. So let me just right click and go to component UV shell. Now look at that, it is a different shape. Now it's a separate shape. Now press D. Yeah, you can see that. Now press D. It's separate. Now press D. It's separate. Now press D. It's separate. So it all changes. It all keep on varies based upon your selection. Maybe I press W. I right click. Go to object mode. Again, I select this. let me hold my control and double click, so this selection will be gone. Now I add one here and one here. Now there are different shapes and structures. Now right click, go to component, UV shell, press D and press D and press D. Now everything is of different shapes here now. Hope you understand. Now just put your selection, UV, select them all, Control L for layout. So Control L will do all the layout options. Now you can see them, they're all equally sliced and put them here. Now you can take it to Photoshop, you can paint whatever color you want. The moment you paint and come back here, that color will be applied. So that's one such option. So hope you understand how it works. Let's talk much about this. Next class, I'll take you to a good example where we can apply in Photoshop and do the magics. Yeah, let me save the file. Thank you.